And here we go. We're talking multitasking. And probably the best survival tool for multitasking is, of course, the multi-tool. But now, in order to define the multi-tool, I guess it can be completely, yeah, and that's my cat you hear in the background, Bam Bam, who's apparently being ignored and doesn't like it. It depends on one's preference because, and I'm getting ready to show you why I say that, but let's start off now. Multi-tools vary more, I believe, than even human beings do. Okay? There is every conceivable multi-tool in the world. I mean, you can get everything from a toothpick to a major tree saw. Okay? And I've got 4 here that I own. And I didn't include some of the ones I own. I have a Gerber, and I'm just not that fond of it. It's a good rugged tool, but when I pick a multi-tool, it needs to be able to do certain things, and I'm going to show you in this film the things that I require it to do. Listen to me.
I know. Why are you trying to proceed?
So
it's so funny, Norman.
It goes actually from the extremely sublime, inexpensive AutoZone tool that I bought today for, I think it was $3. My wife's going to divorce me because I spent $3. But, you know, even at $3, look at this. It has a beautiful little needle nose plier and wire cutter. Great for fishing. Absolutely great fishing tool. But now then you start getting a little bit ridiculous because, well, first you fold it up, which many of them you have to in order to get to your other tools. This is probably the one that I wanted to show you the most. First, it's very, very difficult to get these open. It's not designed well. And so you really kind of have to work at it to get them open. But it has a knife blade, you know, that most of them do. It has a fingernail file because we all know that when you're out there in survival situations, you can't have a hangnail. So you got to be able to fix that. A couple of screwdrivers, which they'll all have. And I'll tell you, you know, in your standard urban survival, screwdrivers are handy. Not just for using or undoing screws, but for prying. I can't really get that one out that I want to get out to show you guys because, oh, you got a little tiny small knife, which I guess would come in handy. Oh, here it is. Yeah, this is your saw blade. Now, I'm not sure exactly what you're going to cut with that. You can see by the length of my finger how small it is. But it is cute that it was included. So, anyway, that's $3 at an AutoZone. And they carry them all the time. Just go in a little cheap basket. Then, moving up in price, this was... I bought this at Smoky Mountain Knife Works. And so I got it fairly inexpensive. It is a Gerber. But it's a different Gerber. It's called a Gerber Radius. Now, this is a pretty slick little tool. Now, it comes open like the rest of them. It has a needle nose. It's much larger than the inexpensive one. Beautiful little needle nose. You've got a lot of gripping power there. I've used this one around the house. And it's got some very effective tools. Now, this has a pair of scissors. Well, there's the screwdriver and a can opener. But now the scissors are, believe it or not, very useful. I've used the scissors on a multi-tool on more than one occasion, and these will actually cut thin metal. So very, very handy. Nice retainment system on these things, so you don't have to worry about them closing back up on you. Decent little knife blade. You know, it's a nice broad blade, which is very Gerber typical. So this is a good tool. And you know, these things are like anything else. You pay for what you get for. You pay for what you get. So never ever discount paying a little bit of money to get the right tool. Now I'm going to skip this, and I'll tell you why. This is my definition of a multi-tool because, as you all know, I'm a minimalist. I believe, and I was taught in the Marine Corps, the only thing you need to survive is a knife. This knife is kind of a multi-tool. And even though it's a folding knife and doesn't have the full tang like I preach and preach and preach, it's a couple $100 knife, and I'll show you. But anyway, we're moving up into the Cadillac of multi-tools. This is a Victorinox multi-tool. I'm not even sure they make it anymore. I'm sure, well, they might. But this thing is the ultimate multi-tool. just looking at it from the outside, you can see it's got a ruler included on both sides, metric and English measurements. And then you open it up, and it's got, of course, the very, very handy, nice needle nose plier, the gripping side, the wire cutter. And now this thing has many, many, many included attachments. It has a serrated knife that could effectively be used as a small saw. The entire blade is serrated, and it's sharp as heck too. I just about cut myself. These things are really, really hard to get out because I don't really use it that much because I did pay so much for it. And I'm really hesitant about taking this thing out. Now this is a leather awl. This is maybe the second handiest tool, second only to the knife blade. This thing will punch through a car door, all right, and it has a little bit of an edge to it, just enough that you can cut. It's actually designed for making holes in leather for when you're sewing leather, but it is the handiest little thing in the world. And then, of course, you have your Phillips head screwdriver. And then moving on over to this blade, this is very, very interesting. This is actually a file that can be used to sharpen other knives. A very nice file. Very fine cross grain on one side and a standard single grain file on the other side. Very, very handy. Nice locking mechanism on this so it doesn't fold back up on you. Now that's just one side of this little baby. The other side has your standard knife, which again is very, very sharp. Then you get your other large blade here is an actual effective dual tooth saw. As you can see, it's a little bit dirty. I've practiced with this. You can cut small branches with this thing. I guess you could probably cut a small tree if you're patient enough. Then, of course, you've got your standard screwdriver. Sadly, no scissors. You know, it would be nice if it had scissors, but, you know, maybe that's asking a little bit too much because, like I said, this thing has virtually anything you could want. Look at that. A P38 can opener. The military P38 can opener included in a multi-tool. This is a survivalist's best friend. It is also fairly expensive. I think brand new, it's right at $200. You can pick them up used. Believe it or not, I bought this for $10 at a yard sale about 12 years ago. I've actually had this longer than I've had my wife, who's sitting in the next room listening to this. But this is a beautiful tool. I've carried this on duty. I've used it camping. I've used it, you name it, I've used it. Now, the knife that is the multi-tool. This is a Puma. Now, Puma knives are handmade in Germany. The metal is probably the best metal you will ever get. It's called a Puma Tech. It has a beautiful blade, nicely shaped, easy to handle, wonderfully comfortable. It's a lockback, so you know you don't have to worry about it cutting you. And then your second blade is a double tooth saw. It's a double tooth saw, and it will cut small branches. And you know, if you're going to throw a multi-tool in your pocket, I'm going for the Victorinox. But if I just want a knife in my pocket, this thing's very hard to close. I'm going with the Puma. Equal value, equal quality. I'm sure that the Gerber Radius here is a fantastic tool, but nothing matches this for a multi-tool. And of course, this is, in my opinion, the only multi-tool you'll ever need. But there again, we've talked about blades long enough, so this is multi-tools. And this is Garth Holt, and this is All Things Survival, and I hope you learned something. Thank you.